Hello, my wonderful photography students. Please bear with me. My voice is still not quite back where it needs to be, but as we finish out the course, I wanted to finalize your understanding and I want you to be able to demonstrate how well you can manipulate in Photoshop and make clean lines, etc., and really express yourselves in your work. So, for the last couple of weeks, about 2 weeks exactly, you were assigned to take 9 selfies, 9 different selfies. You uploaded them and I evaluated them to see if they will work. And what you're going to do is you're going to create a style of art called pop art. Okay. It was done around the 1950s. You'll learn a little bit of information about it in this little 2-minute video that we're going to watch. I highly suggest you watch it, especially for those of you who are taking the exam, because the exam will have to do with this and you will not be given any of the information on the day of the exam. There's a purpose to everything, all right? So let's watch the video first, and then I'm going to show you all the assignments and how you're going to submit and create your final work of art.
Hi, this is Professor Betty Brown. The topic is pop art. Pop art actually got its name in the late 1950s when a British artist, Richard Hamilton, did a collage, a tiny little collage that he entitled something like, "Just What Is It That Makes Today's Home So New and Exciting?" And he cut out images from magazines and put a hypothetical 1950s wife and 1950s husband in a home filled with all the consumer culture ideals. And
I think it's important to put right here consumer culture ideals. This is the reason why I had you take selfies. That is something that is popular and that is the ideal. Most of you put filters on it and you don't even allow it to just be yourself by adding or increasing the saturation. You guys put whatever Snapchat filters or anything like that. So essentially, when you're doing pop art, you're using things that are popular. Hence, when you look over here at these photographs, these are all popular people that have been turned into. This is a Barbie doll. This is Michael Jackson. Okay, Jacqueline Kennedy, things like that. This is Marilyn Monroe. All right, let's continue with the video.
The husband was a bodybuilder, and he was holding, instead of a barbell, a Tootsie Roll Pop, with the word pop real visible.
This is when pop art first came on the scene.
Fast forward a couple years and move across the Atlantic to New York City, and there is a commercial artist who's making his money by doing ads for magazines and newspapers, name of Andy Warhol, who begins to take his advertising images not into collages, as Richard Hamilton done a few years before in England, but into paintings. And Warhol starts out by painting comic strip characters, and then he paints, very famously, as I'm sure you know, Campbell soup cans. And then in 1962, soon after she commits suicide, Andy Warhol paints the celebrated sex idol of the cinema, Marilyn Monroe. And just as he had painted Campbell soup cans again and again and again and again, he paints Marilyn Monroe again and again and again and again. And I like to think of those two paintings, the multiple soup cans, the multiple Marilyn Monroe, as key images in pop art. Because what those two paintings of Warhol's make us think about is how we make commodities, like the Campbell soup can, into celebrities, and we consume them as personalities. And we make celebrities into commodities and we consume them too. And in our consumer culture, pop art tells us people and things are equivalent and they are all fodder for our consumption.
For example, let's think about Hollywood and the socialites. We constantly consume what they do. We constantly look at people, like example of the family, the Kardashians, what they're doing, what they're wearing, things like that. And there's selfie after selfie, there's image after image. And we're just inundated with all of this information. And we're equating that reality to people and things. And with the idea of pop art, it's the idea that it's just constantly consuming these things over and over again. So I want you to do the same thing. And that's what we're actually going to do today. All right. So I'm going to close out the movie. And essentially what you're going to do is you're going to turn yourself into a pop art icon or poster. Now, if you look at this image of Marilyn Monroe, all 9 images are the same. However, I wanted to do things a little bit different. That's why I asked you for 9 different selfies, okay? So you're going to arrange, or you're going to edit rather, 9 different selfies, just like this. I'm going to show you an easy technique. Then you're going to arrange them together and put them in a grid in the Keynote, and you'll upload that, and you're going to as a PDF, but you're also going to upload it as an image, okay? All right, so let's close this out. All right, the first thing I want you to know, like always, I have my selfie. I have one selfie, so I can show you the example. It's right here. It's on my desktop, and I'm going to go ahead and drag it into Photoshop. And then I'm going to extend my drawing board out just a little bit so I can truly see, okay? I will unlock my layer, and then I'm going to go ahead and label it just to keep myself aware of what's going on, and I'm just going to put main image. All right, it's there. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do, there's no filter, there's nothing on here. Okay, I'm going to go to image, adjustments, and you're going to go down to threshold. All right, now you have 9 different pictures that you're going to edit. You can keep each image at a different threshold, or you can change them. And all the threshold is doing is translating everything to black and white, okay? So if I decrease the threshold, I have more white. If I increase the threshold, I have more black, okay? When you hit cancel, I'm going to go back to the original threshold that it was. I couldn't remember the number. It's 128. I think I'm going to go down to maybe 114, and I'll hit OK. All right, so now I have a black and white image that I can end up painting. Now, the first thing that you want to do is to make sure that your white is transparent. Okay, right now it's all black and white, and I can't paint on that. I want to be able to see layers underneath and through it. So I'm going to go up here to select and color range, okay? We'll move this over just a little bit. And I'm going to take my eyedropper and select the white area, okay? Then I'll select the white area in my image, and then I'm going to click OK. So now everything that's white is selected. Then you're going to hit delete on your keyboard, and all of my background is now deleted, okay? I don't have it anywhere. And if I want to deselect all the the lines that are dashed and blinking, you just hit Command D. So now everything is deselected, okay? So now I have that layer. So I'm going to add another layer and go over here to my right, add another layer, and I'm going to move that underneath my main image because I want to be able to see, okay? Then, very simply, what you're going to do is go in each of these shapes and paint them a different color, however you want to paint them, all right? So this is my face, this is my hair, this is the background. I'm going to go ahead and paint my hair first. So I'm going to go select a color, and you want this to be very bright. You don't want browns and reds and things like that because you want it to pop. You want it to be electric, okay? And you also want to think about your color choices. You want to have colors that complement each other. So I have my color selected, and then I'm going to go over to my brush and make sure that I have an appropriate size that I can control. I'm going to increase my hardness, make sure it's all the way up. And I'm actually going to make it just a little bit larger. No, I'm going to make it a little smaller first. That way I can make sure I can control everything, all right? So then I'm going to come over here, and if I go outside of my hairline, it's all right because I'm going to show you how to erase. This is actually the chair. So I'm going to start to paint, and I make sure I'm on my right layer. And I'm going to go ahead and label this hair so I can make sure that I don't have anything confused, okay? Enter. Then I'm going to go in, and I'm underneath, and I'm going to start painting my hair. So I'm not worried about going into this black right here because nothing's going to show. But I have some of my hair right here, and drag that up. And I'm just going to go around the edge of my hair first, and then I'm going to go in and change the size of my brush and make it larger. Have some of my hair growing in my face here and there. All right. So I know that's where my hair is, and I'm going to come on this side, And do the same thing. Color all of the area where I know my hair is. Okay. Now I'm going to go in and make my brush a lot bigger so that I can fill in those gaps easier. I just wanted to go through and make sure that I can get clean lines going around. So now I have my hair colored. Go in, make sure all this is colored. I've got it pink. Go in here. All right, now my hair is done. There's a little spot right there. Okay, and there's a little spot right here. Clean that up a little bit. Okay, so if you look right here, that's where I've gone outside the line. So I'm just going to go get my eraser, and I'm going to come right there on the edge, make sure it lines up. Click, and there, my hair is nice and crisp. Okay, now I'm going to go back to my brush, and I'm going to make a new layer, because every time I make a layer, I want to make sure that, and I'm going to move it underneath my hair. I want to make sure that I don't mess up anything. Let's do my face. And then my face is literally all here, okay? The only thing I'm not going to do is my eyes. I think I want to do something different with my eyes. So I'm going to pick a color. I think I want to do a electric green or a Tiffany blue. Let's find a blue. Oh, I like that one. That's really loud. All right, so go in. Same thing. Just going to start painting, and you see it's going to show through. I can go right up to that edge, all the way around. I'm not worried about what I'm doing on the side right there, remember? So I can go and erase that. My nose. Be really careful around my lips. I have very small lips. I have a small mouth. And the same thing, I'm going to come down here, paint that bottom of my chin. I'm not worried about that. This is my lip. Okay. And right here, I'm going to go right underneath my hairline. Remember, it's not going to really show. Over my eye. I'm just not going to go into my eye yet. Under my hair. And then I'm going to go really close to my eye. And I'll get those on another round. Okay. Now, same thing. I'm going to go to my eraser. And I'm going to go decrease my eraser size. Not the hardness, I'm sorry. Eraser size. So I can go in and clean up that line. Get rid of everything I don't need. And I'm not on my main layer, so I'm not erasing any of that. Make sure all of that is erased well. And there's a little bit of blue here. I don't want to erase that. And there's blue on my necklace. Let's get that erased. Oops, I went too far. Okay, all right. Now, same thing, same process. I'm going to go in and change my color. I think an orange would look good because orange and blue are complements. So I'm going to find an orange that I like. And I'm going to get my paintbrush. And I'm going to zoom in so I can make sure that I'm just inside my mouth. I'm going to decrease my size and make a new layer. Move this below. And my mouth and eyes are going to be the same color. Alright, and so I'm going to go in and paint my mouth. Make sure that I get everything color correct. Then I'm going to go in and paint my eye. And make sure all of that is taken care of. Zoom out. And it's starting to appear. I'm starting to see my face in there, okay? Now I have the majority of my face covered. Let's just get crazy, all right? So now I'm going to pick a different color. I think I want a dark purple. Let's pick a darker purple. And then I'm going to go ahead in here. I'm going to increase the size because this is a large area. And make a new layer. And this is just, they can move it down below. This is the couch that I'm on. And then I'm going to go in, paint that purple. Go right up to my hairline. And it's not going to interfere with anything else. So I don't have to worry about going over. Alright, that's good. Okay, now my skin. I'm going to change my skin. Let's do that. Add a new layer. And then move that below again. And then I'll label that skin. And I want my skin an electric green. Alright, so I'm on my skin layer. This is my skin. I had a short sleeve shirt on. So there, I got my green. And then I have my background color. Those are just random colors. So I'm going to label this background. They're random colors and shapes. And I think I need to choose a yellow. That'll complement my purple. I need a really rich yellow, okay? So I'm all the way in the background, and then I'm just going to paint these areas right here. And actually it works out well because my jewelry will be yellow too, just like gold. Alright, so now I have all these together. So you're going to hit Shift and select all your layers and then merge them together. And now you have pop art. Alright, so now I have an image where I have all these different parts colored. Isn't that cool? Alright, so we're not done yet. So then you're going to go to File, Export, or Place, or Save As, whichever one you have. You're going to export it as a JPEG. So I'm going to go to Save As. It depends on what CS you have. And then I'm going to go up to JPEG, Selfie Copy, and you would do this 9 times. Obviously, each one of your 9 should be different. I'm just going to put Selfie Copy, Selfie 1, and then Save. Make sure it's a high file. Okay. Alright, then I'm going to close this out. I don't need to save it because I'm done. Okay. Alright. So I'm going to go ahead and quit Photoshop. And remember, you would do this 9 times. Alright. So here is my original. And here is my edited one to make it look like pop art. Very fun. Okay. So once you have all 9 of them done, then you are going to open up Keynote. And you can only do this on a white or black background if you want a border. I would prefer you not have a border because you're going to stretch these all the way out. Okay, now you're going to have to figure this out. I will not help you do this part. So obviously the way this is set up, if you're going to if you have wide angle pictures that are more square, this would be suitable for you. Or you can hit quit. You can do it in pages if you like. If you have a vertical format photograph, which means it's more of a vertical shot, it's not as wide. I'll hit blank. And what you're going to do is just arrange them in a grid. So I'm going to minimize this just a little bit so I can see better. I'll drag this in. And all you would have to do is shrink it down. Now let's imagine that these are all different. All right. Then I have to make sure that they'll all fit. So I'm going to bring it all the way here. And obviously it looks like one needs to be just a little bit bigger. So I'll make it a little bit bigger. And I actually want them all to be the same size. So I'm going to duplicate that one and let them overlap. Okay. Then, let's see, just out of curiosity, would all 3 of these fit? Yes, they will. Okay. Well, there's a little bit of space. So I'm going to go back, select my picture, and go to Arrange. And I'm going to deselect Constrain Proportions so I can make it just a little bit wider and just a little longer. Just a little bit. Alright. And then let's try now. See? I'm just hitting Command C and Command V. Move them just a little bit. You'll have to arrange them, okay? So now that I have that, I would delete that. Select each of these. Just imagine they're all different. And arrange them. Oops. Imagine they're all different, and you would arrange them together. That would be your poster. They're all messing up right now. Okay? Let's delete these. Okay. C, B. Let's do it that way. B. And then I would put the other one right here, and you would save it as a PDF because that's what you would have to upload. And then that'll end up on your desktop. All right. So this will be my selfie poster pop art. I don't need to save this. This is just an example. Once I have my selfie poster pop art, when you double click it and you go to File, you can export as a JPEG. So you're going to upload both of those. You're going to make sure it's at the highest quality and then hit Save, and you'll see it appear. It'll take a moment because you're going to save a really high file. And then now you have a PDF and you have a JPEG. Those are two different things, okay? So this is a selfie poster or pop art project that you have to do, all right? It's very simple, but yes, it does take a little bit of time because you're going to have to edit each of your 9 photographs different so that when you put them in the grid, they look completely different. None of them should be the same at all. If any of them are the same, you will not get credit, all right? Let's talk about grading. When I'm grading, I'm looking to see that you have really crisp edges. For example, let's look at the hair. I can see that they very meticulously went around to make sure that there was a clean line repeated going around the hair. I'm looking for that. I'm looking to make sure that you have an appropriate threshold. If it looks like you just colored it randomly and you didn't take the time to go around and echo each form of the body or the face, you will lose points. The project is worth 250 points. The rubric will be broken down into how well the image has a threshold, how well you actually paid attention to the edges of the hair, the shape, the color, the mouth, all of those things, and how electric it is. Do you see any browns? No. You don't see any earth tones or anything like that. That means it's not popular if you have those things. So the colors need to be very electric. But this is your final project for photography. It is not the final exam, but your final exam will be very similar to this. So I suggest that you really try to work through and get an understanding of what this looks like. Have fun!